Okay, I know most of you don't really care about Thursday's forecast and you want to know what's the Easter long weekend weather looking like. Well, I've got you covered. Let's see. To understand what's going to happen at the surface, we need to start by looking at the upper levels of the atmosphere. And on Wednesday as well as Thursday, we do have this warm air mass across the country. But then closer to Good Friday, we've got this blast of a cold air expected to sweep across South Africa. And what does that tell us? It's most likely a cold front that's going to reach the country. Well, there's that front on our synoptic analysis on Thursday ahead of the front. Foggy in the east, quickly heating up over the western interior. The front making landfall on Friday afternoon over the southwestern coast and then overnight into Saturday, spreading scattered showers across the western areas and along the southern coastline. Much colder conditions in those areas, and a few isolated storms expected ahead of the front over the interior of South Africa, becoming scattered into Sunday over northwest the Free State as well as the Eastern Cape. A few isolated severe storms likely to move over parts of the Eastern Cape, and then into Monday on Family Day, the stormy conditions also reaching Gauteng, Mpumalanga and large parts of KwaZulu-Natal. It looks like a strong northeaster blowing along the east coast ahead of that cold front. And then into Friday, as that front reaches South Africa, we're expecting a fresh to strong onshore flow to spread along the coast of South Africa, also picking up over the western interior. This cool onshore southerly flow expected behind the front this weekend and becoming strong on Saturday over in Nelson Mandela Bay as well as into Sunday, spreading along the coast of the Eastern Cape as that front sweeps across the country. What was the temperatures looking like? I've mentioned it's going to be hot ahead of that front on Thursday over the western parts of the country, reaching 30 degrees in the Northern Cape, upper 20 along the coast, and warm to very warm over the rest of the country. And then quickly cooling down on Friday in the west as that cold front makes landfall, as well as here in Cape Town. It's going to be a mild to warm and very warm on Friday in the Northern Cape. Much cooler conditions this weekend over the western and southern areas of South Africa as the front sweeps across the country. Cooler weather also reaching the Eastern Cape. It's still quite warm in the east and hot in the Lowveld on Sunday, remaining chilly over the southwestern areas of South Africa. Much cooler conditions also now moving over the Free State, the Eastern Cape, and later reaching KwaZulu-Natal. Now, here's a summary on what you can expect on Thursday as well as into the Easter long weekend. Mainly dry conditions on Thursday, light showers likely over the northern coast of KwaZulu-Natal, very isolated storms here in the western areas. On Friday, the front making landfall, scattered showers over the southwestern coast, a few isolated storms as mentioned over the interior of South Africa, becoming scattered on Saturday over northwest the Free State as well as KwaZulu-Natal and the Eastern Cape. The front sweeping across the country. We're expecting a few isolated showers and thunderstorms likely to move over Nelson Mandela Bay, becoming widespread on Sunday in the Free State as well as the Eastern Cape. I'm sure in those areas the Weather Service will issue a weather warning for severe thunderstorms as well as here over the northern coast of KwaZulu-Natal. A few of those isolated storms could result in heavy downpours, and then it's clear to see it's going to be a stormy and much colder Family Day for Eastern South Africa. Showers and thunderstorms also now expected in Gauteng and Mpumalanga, but dry here in the west. Well, that's all from me. For those of you traveling this Easter weekend, please be safe, and we'll see you again tomorrow for another forecast on what you can expect this long weekend. That's all from me.